Boom, 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 boom.
To Kill a Mockingbird is a novel written by Harper Lee that was published in 1960, but one that had a setting in the 1930s in a fictional town called Macomb, Alabama. It was a book that almost everyone had read at some point of their lives. Whether you've been forced to read it at school or you had to look at it because everyone's been urging you to, most people had their own experiences reading To Kill a Mockingbird. The book is about Atticus Finch, who appears to be an unconventional hero and role model due to his morality rather than his physical capabilities. The theme of morals is apparent throughout the whole novel, especially in relation to religion and perception of sin. Although the book is about Atticus Finch, it is read through the eyes of a 6-year-old named Scout Finch, the daughter of Atticus Finch. To Kill a Mockingbird focuses on the gut instinct of right and wrong, and distinguishes it from following the law. Even a particular quote,
"That I could shoot all of the blue jays I wanted, if I could hit them. But to remember, it was a sin to kill a mockingbird,"
is in itself an allegory for this message. Being in itself a generic message, the idea of doing what's right obviously has a meaning depending on when and where you're reading the book. If you take 1960, when the book was written, America was in a state of ethical development as social inequality was very gradually being overcome. Women's rights and black rights movements were beginning to emerge, and some campaigned through violence. In the 1930s, when the book was set, America was in the midst of a Great Depression. This was a time when economic difficulties meant that the American dream was receding further and further away. We could consider that Atticus Finch felt that his own dream of a morally decent society was also heading in the wrong direction. Without denying the consistency of the moral message and the pure integrity of the book, it's still open to debate. As with all the classics, should school children be forced to read this and go over it page by page? The beauty of literature is that a writer must eventually relinquish the meaning of his or her book. Therefore, everyone who reads it can take out something no one has before. I find that a beautiful notion, but it seems that looking for life lessons has become a less and less popular exercise as the years have gone by. Let's not forget that a true piece of literature, like To Kill a Mockingbird, is meaningful at every period, and that today, Atticus Finch's message should be heard in the midst of all global conflicts that we hear on the news every night. Should it be analyzed, taught in schools, and pulled to pieces? I can't say, but I will say is that I'm not against anyone reading it for the sake of reading it. I've read many books that I have enjoyed, put down, and never thought about since, but I honestly feel that Mockingbird is a book that everyone should read, even if it's in school, in adult life, or both. It is a book with so many layers that even if you read it 50 times, you can still get something new out of it every time you read it. I for one note that To Kill a Mockingbird has affected so many people's lives in a beautiful way. Even though it is a long book, it'll always be worth it in the long run. I would really advise picking up a copy of Harper Lee's magnificent novel and giving it a try. Because whatever happens, it will never stop being a good book, and it will never stop inspiring good people.